Thanks for watching AM Northwest. Well, do you talk with your hands? Our next guest says if you want to be a good communicator, you really should. Here to explain, we welcome back the author of Human Lie Detection and Body Language 101, Vanessa Van Edwards. Good to have you back
Happy
again.
to be here.
This is really interesting because when you think of hand gestures, you usually think of the things that people flash when they're mad at you.
Yeah, those aren't the good ones.
Those aren't the good ones. So we want to take this in a different direction, right?
Yeah, so most people don't realize that our hand gestures are actually very important for our charisma.
Right.
They show intention, they show explanation. They show a lot of trust. When we see hands, we get really nice. We feel like, oh yeah, we understand them, we see them. So
Right.
I wanted to go over a couple of hand gestures you could use in your elevator pitch, when explaining things, when talking. It's really important
Quickly
for charisma.
give the elevator pitch. What is that?
So an elevator pitch is how you answer, what do you do?
Okay.
And most people have a sort of script.
Right.
I do this, I do that. When you're explaining what you do, actually, the more you can integrate your hands, the more memorable you become.
Okay.
All right, let's start with easy.
Okay.
First, anytime you mention a number, you should always show that number. So I work with 3 different kinds of people, or there are 4 different parts to this project. Even when you're talking with kids, that can actually help. It's almost like an anchor or a hook.
That makes sense.
Because then they see the number. It's almost like hand gestures underline or bold your words.
Okay.
So anytime you mention a number, you want to say 3, 4, 5, 10.
Right.
Always, that's easy one.
Use your hands. Okay, piece of cake.
So the second one is a little bit more complicated. So this is increase, decrease. So one thing you can do with your hands is if you're talking about a really big growth, you can actually show that growth. Or if it's a little problem, no big deal.
Oh, wow.
It actually takes down the anxiety. You're saying, this is no big deal. It's very small. We'll be able to deal with it right away. Or this is a big problem.
It's that this whole thing makes a lot of sense. It really does.
And you notice it on television with actors.
Right.
It gets to the point much quicker because you go, oh, it's a really big deal.
Right.
Or if I were to say it's a really big deal,
oh, yeah, it doesn't.
your brain's like, whoa, like I just scrambled your brain, right?
But the impact is huge when you do that.
Exactly. So increase, decrease. You can go growth, like, oh my gosh, he's growing so much.
Right. Wow, yeah.
So increase, decrease. The third one is if you are talking about something emotional. The easiest way to do this is to actually gesture anywhere in your heart region. So our heart region, right in the middle of our chest. If you say, this is so important to me. Anytime
you can feel it.
You can feel it
when you say that.
Anytime someone gestures in this area, it's almost like they're saying, pay attention.
Right.
This is important to me. So if you're explaining something to a spouse or a child and you say, look, it really, really means something when you do that to me, it's almost like a highlight or underline to say, it really matters.
Right.
So heart gesture, anywhere in here.
Okay.
4. So this is about division. So our hands actually can help people keep track of an explanation. So let's say, for example, I'm talking about 2 different groups. We're in an election year, Republicans and Democrats. Anytime I talk about Republicans, I could actually hold Republicans right here. So Republicans think this, they believe this.
Okay.
But Democrats, they think this, they believe this. So you can actually use your hands to help people keep track of the concept that you're talking about. So Republicans, Democrats, you can say, so mom thinks this, dad thinks this.
Yeah, dogs, cats.
Right, exactly. And so it helps people, it's like a Cliff Notes way for someone to keep, especially if you have someone who's on their smartphone and they're not really paying attention, they can just look up and see which hand you're holding.
Wow, and you know what, someone mentioned too that using hand gestures helps them learn a foreign language.
Yes, and that's because there is a feedback loop between our gestures and our own understanding. So even if you're learning something, you're trying to keep 2 things straight, you could even say, like if you were trying to remember something, like I have to do this thing. And if you keep your hand like this, you will remember when you go downstairs.
Oh my gosh, I'm going to be using that a lot.
You can use the thing.
I'm forgetting a lot of things, so I'm going to use that one. Okay.
So we talk about division. You can also bring things together. So you can also say, we were apart on this, but then we came together on it. Or, the Republicans and Democrats these are the Republicans. Republicans and Democrats are coming together on this issue.
Well, that's not going to happen.
Right. But it's going to happen, Helen, because my hands said it would.
Because your hands said it would.
Yes, and so it's a really good way to show, like, if you have a job where you say, I match people with their perfect home.
Oh my gosh,
right? You can say that.
Right.
Or I love to teach wonderful books to students.
Right.
Right, anytime you're bringing things together. So that's kind of an interesting one that you can do.
These are really good, yeah.
And the 6th one is emblems. So culturally in this culture, A-OK, thumbs up, and pointing. Now I just want to say, those are all great gestures. See, everything's good.
Yeah.
You can highlight that.
A lot of people do, thumbs up.
All is good. The only one I would say is be careful with pointing.
Yeah.
So pointing is a very kind of aggressive gesture. So if you're going to do it, I'd much rather you point with your hand open.
Okay.
That is why politicians are trained to do this. So if you look at old tapes of politicians, most of them, they speak and they point like this. Actually, they've been trained to point like this. That's because, what is it? It's a partial thumbs up gesture.
Right.
So it looks like everything's good.
Right.
And it's less aggressive than a point. So that's
it certainly is. Yeah.
That's why they do that. So, so you can use that too.
Okay.
And the last one is you, me, we. So you, me, we. So you can actually use your gestures to bring people together. So you can say, you know, we're on the same page.
Right.
Right, we.
Yeah. Or we've come together on this.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Or, you know, you think this and I think this.
Right.
And that's okay if you think that, but I really want to go with what I think because it's important to me.
And this takes us back to that study you did on charisma, doesn't it? Where people paid attention to those using hand gestures. They became more charismatic.
Exactly. So the best speakers use more hand gestures in their talks. Now, a little caveat here is there's a difference between jazz hands and hand gestures.
Right.
So kind of jazz hands are gestures that don't match your words.
Right.
Those are just
Make sure they
distracting.
match your words.
Yeah, they should match your words. Always that congruent. That's what you want. Those are the best speakers.
And the coming from the heart makes you can feel it.
And TED Talkers, you know, people who go on stage and they speak from their heart, they're telling their story. They'll often get on stage and say, today I want to share a story with you.
Oh, wow. See, now I'm listening.
Right.
Because now I feel like it's going to be a powerful, heartfelt story.
Right. And we're all going to come together. Right. You'll see like the speakers will use this gesture because they're trying to include the audience in their talk. It's a beautiful way, I think, to give more depth to what you're saying, to explain so much more beyond, you know, 3 words of, you know, us.
Right.
You can say so much more with your hands when you add them.
Vanessa, from the bottom of my heart, that was fantastic.
Yes.
It really was. Human Lie Detection Body Language 101, your guide to reading people's nonverbal behavior. Vanessa Van Edwards.
Do you love this video? Then give us some love in the comments. Like this video and subscribe to our channel.